Welcome back
Well,
to the podcast. It is Saturday night, not Friday night, because your boy Doug had to go watch the four-time Canadian Premier League champion Forge FC out of Hamilton. Um, go win against in their season opener against Calgary FC.
ooh,
So yeah. Um, so what's up, Andrew?
not much. First, I want to say, normally, guys, we do this on a Friday night. My esteemed apologies. Some family problems came up yesterday, so had to go take Uncle Angie, Uncle AP had to go take care of that stuff right there, and unfortunately, that's why we're doing it tonight. So,
All's
my apologies if
forgiven.
you guys thought that we were going to have this posted yesterday or today, actually. Sorry, Saturday. My apologies. Uh,
All's
yeah,
forgiven.
sometimes family first,
Things
folks.
happen.
Sometimes family first, and then sometimes that's a little more
Not even
important than other
sometimes.
shit.
It's always family first.
All right. So anyway, big SmackDown for the most part. It's a SmackDown right after Raw. Uh,
After Mania, you mean?
sorry, after Mania, my mistake. It's an interesting one, really. We had a big debut right out of the New Japan camp, but we'll get to that shortly. Cody Rhodes opens up the show, talks about the stuff that happened with Rock on Monday. Basically just goes through what he plans on doing as a
Hold up.
champion. Okay.
Hold up.
Yep.
My favorite part of that whole promo is he quoted his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, Now, for those that don't understand the context of what I'm talking about, when Jade Cargill first started in AEW, she was going off one night on Cody.
Yeah.
And Brandy came out and said, who told or who the hell told you it was open mic night, bitch?
Yeah.
And Cody used that line
Yes,
in
he
his
did.
in his promo.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
he said, but talked about the Rock when he was coming down the aisle.
yeah, and Cody also apologized for cursing
Yeah.
afterwards. But yeah, continue. Then
Uh,
he just kind of like ran down who his potential opponents are going to be for Backlash because there were two triple threat matches on this card.
yep.
Um,
Almost like a mini tournament.
right, to determine so next week is going to determine Cody's challenger at Backlash.
Yep.
But
And
the
we'll get
three
to
triple threat matches were
yep.
LA Knight,
And we got to the first one
Santos
after this.
right, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, and Bobby Lashley.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, which was the main event, was Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, and AJ Styles.
And we get to who won those right now. Well, not the main event, but the one here. So we're after this one here. The winner of that match was actually LA Knight.
So actually, stop for a second. Time out.
Sure.
So I want to ask you
Sure.
two promos,
Okay.
6 days removed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you still think it was the right call to pull the trigger on Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, I do. I think it was, to be honest, you kind
Considering what we're going to talk about in a couple of minutes, I think you're right too.
to be honest, yeah, it kind of was the right call. And to be truthfully honest, you guys, a lot of you guys too. I know a lot of people out there are still bummed that the tribal chief lost. Hey, I like the tribal chief much as everybody else did. I was a big fan of the whole thing. Final boss coming out, which was Roman Reigns, which is now The Rock. You know what? Quite frankly, though, he didn't need to surpass Hogan. Unless you're gonna put him past Bruno, there's no point keeping that keep on going. There's a
I
lot you
agree.
can do with it. Unless you're gonna have him surpass
Did you
Bruno, it's a waste of time.
did you see what he put out on his
I did see it. Mourned
social
one
medias
more
on Wednesday?
yeah, mourned one day,
Yesterday I mourned
mourned
day
today,
one.
one starts
Fire
tomorrow.
emoji, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Roman's gonna be back some point. Where's the matter of when?
I know when he is actually advertised for the SmackDown before SummerSlam.
Okay, so we'll
That
see
is
what
when he's advertised to be back.
so we'll see what's gonna happen there. Anyway, Bobby Lashley, LA Knight, and Santos Escobar. After a bunch of shenanigans that went on in that match with parts of the Street Profits coming in to fight Legado, LA Knight ends up winning. So LA Knight is in the finals for this mini tournament.
Mhm.
After that was over, the Bloodline comes out. Well, first off, in the back segment, the Bloodline is going to their usual room, which is now Cody's room.
And
And
Heyman mentioned something about winning and losing has consequences. And
so
if we want the title back, or if we want that room back, we got to get the title back.
yeah,
Something to that effect.
which led to in the ring where Cody, I'm sorry, not Cody, Paul Heyman and the rest of the Bloodline, which was Solo and Jimmy, come out and they're talking about consequences to winning and all
Mhm.
stuff. And Solo, who they're starting to give Mike time to, by the looks of it, quite Charlie so, says if there's consequences for losers, there has to be consequences and change.
Mhm.
Which prompted him to go up to his brother Jimmy, who was the only one who also lost that night, who lost the night before on WrestleMania. Gave him a hug, told him I love you, you're my brother, and stepped away. Then out of nowhere, a man in a black hooded hoodie attacked Jimmy Uso from behind.
Ooh, let me take it from here.
And he took off his hood to reveal who there, Doug?
The man that I talked about in our New Japan New Beginning in Sapporo review, Tama motherfucking Tonga, who Corey Graves so eloquently described as the son of Haku.
Who
Um,
basically roughshod through Japan for the past number of years.
Absolutely. Him and his brother,
Yeah.
Tonga Loa,
Yep.
have the most reigns as IWGP heavyweight tag team champions of all time.
Gorillas of Destiny, right?
Yeah, Gorillas of Destiny,
Mm.
the most heavyweight tag team title reigns of all time,
Yeah.
with 7.
Yeah. They looked really good. It was actually I really liked how they did it too, because Corey Graves is like, wait, do you know who that is? And Wade's like, that's Tama Tonga, right?
Yeah,
And it's like,
absolutely.
so they like they didn't ever mention New Japan, but I liked how Cody Graves did mention that he was running roughshod in Japan. So they kind of people would know, okay, this guy
Yeah,
was in Japan. So you can almost like put the two together. We kind of know where he was going
right.
without having to say where it's from.
So it's funny because I saw a picture on Twitter like Friday night
Yeah,
where if you look at the original Bullet Club,
yeah,
Devitt in WWE, Anderson and Gallows in WWE, Tama Tonga in WWE.
yeah.
The only one left that isn't in WWE is Bad Luck Fale. Now, will he ever go to WWE? I don't know,
No,
but
but
it,
it's funny
it would
because
be hilarious to recreate the original Bullet Club in WWE.
that would be great. What's also
I
interesting though too,
you have enough pieces where you can do it.
yeah, you really can actually.
You have Devitt, you have
Yep,
you have the
you
Good
have
Brothers,
Gallows. Yep, and you have Tama Tonga now.
you have Tama
Yep.
now. You also have AJ lurking.
Yeah.
You can
So
do a pseudo Bullet Club
you
in
could.
WWE if you
And,
really wanted to.
and see what's also interesting though too with Tama Tonga is that apparently Tama Tonga was quoted. I'm not too sure if it really was quoted by him, but I did see quote where they asked him like why he didn't go to AEW, and his response apparently was he considered AEW the minor league. I mean,
Well,
that's
I mean
that's kind of a bold statement coming from Tama Tonga.
that's possible. I mean, you consider the fact that New Japan and AEW have a working relationship.
Yeah,
Um, as in we were talking about, like you guys will hear before this, there's a news update coming uh before this episode, but
yeah,
John Moxley, who is Mr. AEW, if you ask me, just became IWGP World Champion.
yeah,
Um, so like back to the topic at hand,
yeah,
I said to you
yeah,
last night, I believe this is the true Bloodline Civil War that we thought we were going to get last year with Usos versus Roman and Solo.
Yeah.
But I think that this is going to turn into new Bloodline with Solo, Tama, and the newly signed Jacob Fatu.
Who is, if I'm correct, is it
For, former
is
MLW World Champ.
and isn't that also is it Rikishi's cousin or nephew?
I believe it's Rikishi's nephew.
Yeah, Rikishi's nephew. Who's also happens to be what was it Yokozuna's son?
I think so. But there's also one more floating around the indies that
Yeah,
could
apparently.
that could come into play at some point, and his name is Zilla Batu.
Yeah, yeah.
But
So
I think it's going to be new bloodline led by The Rock.
yeah,
The Rock's going to be Mr. Puppet Master. We used to think about Dakota. We used to talk about Dakota Kai as the Puppet Master.
well, it's funny. Like in the backstage segment after that, where Paul Heyman's checking on Jimmy, Solo and Tama confront Paul Heyman, and Tama says, "We I did that, or is on orders of the tribal chief." I don't think this is the tribal chief that we're talking. I don't think it's the tribal chief they're talking about as Roman Reigns. I think it's the type of tribal chief that's the higher up tribal chief. I think The Rock, the next time he comes, is going to reveal himself as the true tribal chief, and that's where you can get this whole civil war bloodline where Roman will come back, and I think there's going to be a
You
reuniting
know,
Jay and Jimmy.
and you know what? That reunion's going to hit like crack, bro.
Oh, that's going to be the biggest. That's going to be the
That has
biggest.
that has the potential if you do it right,
Yeah,
where like Jacob, Tama, and Solo just constantly beat down Jimmy.
yeah,
Jay finally makes the save,
yeah.
right? That's cool. You go in towards SummerSlam, and
Actually, they're more or less thinking Survivor Series War Games.
right, but no, this is how you reintroduce Roman,
Yeah,
right? So Jacob and Solo and Tama are beating down the Usos on that SmackDown before SummerSlam. And out comes the real tribal chief. That is going to hit like it's motherfucking crystal meth.
yeah. It's going to be big. Uh,
It has
speak,
the potential to be one of the greatest moments that happens on network television in terms of professional wrestling.
which is interesting though too, because there are sparks and rumors out there right now that Rock is going to be on next year's WrestleMania
And he wants
against
Cody.
Cody.
Yeah.
So that's going to be interesting to see where this plays out because
You
this may actually be a 3 year story
But
with this
how do
whole
you get,
bloodline.
yeah, because apparently Roman and Rock is rumored for WrestleMania 42.
Yeah, so this
But
could be a 3 year story.
how do you get to Cody and Rock? Do you have The Rock win the Royal Rumble?
It all depends on what they want. There's talk right now that Cody's going to have a year long reign.
Or
So,
do you have The Rock win Money in the Bank?
oh, you think of that one.
Right? I mean, now,
I love Brock Lesnar.
yeah, full disclosure, okay, I did attempt to get tickets yesterday to Money in the Bank. By the time I got through Ticketmaster's bullshit queue system, the most like cheapest tickets were $480 Canadian. So for two of us, it would have been $960 to go. I ain't paying that shit. So we're going to look at the resale.
We're gonna see what's gonna go on there, folks. We're gonna do our best to get to the money in the bank. And if we do money in the bank there, we might just do it live from my phone, just record while we go, or do something outside the arena.
Record record
Something,
after the event on the
yeah,
drive home.
or walking.
We could do it on both.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to the rest of SmackDown. After that, Braun Breaker came out with a match against Cameron Grimes, which I kind of disappointed not doing anything with Cameron Grimes, to be honest. It's kind of been used sparingly. But they're pushing Braun Breaker. It was a squash match. They changed his music too in the process. Uh, I said
Did you did you
Braun Breaker
see,
did lose the tag titles in NXT with Baron Corbin, so he's officially done. Actually, I'm surprised though too on this episode too. We'll get to it at the end there, but also no Carmelo Hayes. Kind of surprised a little bit.
did you see the promo he cut and then the backstage little interaction with Shawn Michaels?
No, I did not see that.
So like he was very appreciative of the NXT audience
Yeah,
for the 2 years that he has been there. Um, and then like he shared a very um I don't mean this in the wrong way, but a very intimate moment with Shawn Michaels afterwards coming
yeah.
back through the curtain. Which by the way, Axiom and Nathan Frazier are your new NXT tag team champions.
They're gonna hold those for a brief time.
I think they're gonna hold them for a brief time too.
I don't think they're gonna hold them very long. I could
Which by the
see,
way,
I could
just
see it going to, well, Gallus possibly,
Gallus, yeah.
or maybe even, it might even go to the family. Might go back to the family.
What, D'Angelo and
Well,
Stacks?
yeah, or the new guy too.
Um, Hold on. So just circling back to the bloodline thing,
Hmm.
what do you think of Tama skipping NXT and going straight to the main roster?
He doesn't need to do NXT.
Pardon me?
He doesn't need to do NXT.
I agree.
If
Thank you.
I'll be honest with you, if he was like, I would say, now I'm gonna go back and just say this right now too. Like Jade Cargill didn't need to do NXT either. She didn't need it.
Mhm.
We see the reaction she's already getting, which we'll get to her really shortly here on SmackDown because there's a potential tag team here. But look, if I would say if Tama Tonga, if they put Tama Tonga in NXT back when, say, the Undisputed Era was there, Samoa Joe was there, I would like to see Tama Tonga there instead. The NXT now isn't. Tama Tonga doesn't need to be there. And with the upcoming draft anyway, you're going to be sending a lot of guys who are probably on SmackDown and Raw, probably to NXT anyway because they're part of the draft as well.
Right.
So that'll be interesting to see there.
Sure.
Anyway, Bailey comes out after, cuts a very
Babyface promo.
babyface promo. I'm not a big fan of her new music. I kind of liked what it was before. I
The
don't really
kind
like
of
it now.
the damage control music, pretty
Yeah,
much.
which was the dance show music, but it was originally her music. Um, I think she's gonna have an interesting reign, title reign. I think someone's gonna dethrone her, and I think the person who's dethroned her is the person we're gonna talk about very soon. But after that match, though, we talked to Naomi versus Tiffany Stratton in that match to
The
determine
number
who
one contender.
Bailey's number contender is at Backlash. No, next week on SmackDown actually, and it's
Is
gonna
it?
be, yeah, Naomi versus Bailey. Now, look, Naomi's not gonna win that match.
Naomi finally beat Tiffany Stratton. I mean, like you finally beat Tiffany Stratton on in a one-on-one match. I know she.
I think Tiffany Stratton was that Money in the Bank.
Oh, I think that would be television gold
I think she wins Money in the Bank.
with
I think she cashes in on
Tiff
Bailey
Tiffy time,
or someone else.
Tiffy time as Miss Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I think she wins the belt. After that, possibly a new tag team, at least for a temporary time. Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus Piper Niven and Chelsea Green in just a squash match, showcasing them too. Like that's gonna be a tag team for a little bit here. I don't see it being a long tag team though.
I think they could be the ones to def, dethrone the Kabuki Warriors.
I think they are too, but look, I think Jade, I think Jade's gonna be one that dethrones Bailey, and then I think Jade's gonna lose. The Tiffany Stratton's cashing in on her because I don't see Tiffany Stratton being her one on one straight up match.
I could see that. Pardon me.
But I think this tag team works out for a little bit of Belair. I think Belair is going to turn heel. I think Cargill doesn't need to be a heel right now. I think people like her an awful lot.
So you think
I think
Bianca's
Belair.
gonna turn on Jade?
I think Belair needs a heel turn. I think she needs something fresh, something new to get herself into. Because I think some of the fan stuff there is slowly starting to go away, especially with Jade there. Because when you think about empowering women right now in WWE, it's hard not to argue Jade Cargill is very empowering to a lot of young women out there.
Especially young black women.
Yeah. I don't want to put a label on it as far as that goes, but I also want to say just in women in general. I don't think it really needs a label.
I think in terms I think in terms of like a representation thing. And
Okay.
you and I have had conversations about this off camera, but in terms of pardon me, a representation thing, I think Jade Cargill is like, and Bianca are both the poster girls.
Yeah.
For young black women succeeding in sports, a la your Angela Reese's, a la your Serena Williams, shit like that.
I think Jade right now is a little bit ahead of Belair, though. I'd say. I think Jade is much more. I think Belair, though, needs the time, needs the character change. She needs to be a heel a little bit right now. Gives her something new to do. Because I think there's gonna be you can build around jealousy and so forth. So I think that's we'll see what happens over time. There's a good possibility.
If you want me to be honest, I think this is all building to a B-level pay-per-view. A B-level pay-per-view with Jade and Bianca headlining.
I think Jade and Bianca's conclusion match is at SummerSlam.
Yeah. I think you can tell that story by August.
Yeah.
That's fine.
There's plenty of time to do that.
Sure.
After that's main event time. Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles.
Great match.
Big match. I said it on the main review. We're gonna see Styles versus LA Knight again. Sure enough, Styles wins this thing with a really bitchin' finisher. Styles clash onto Kevin Owens after he puts his knees into Kevin Owens' back after a swanton. Styles clash into Kevin Owens, then rolls Ray into the pin.
That transition to the pin was fucking smooth as fuck.
Yeah, that was so good. Like, that was just really good. And
I saw someone say AJ Styles might be the best triple threat match wrestler ever.
Good possibility.
I have a hard time disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
When you look at this man's fucking resume in multi-man matches.
Yeah, the guys, there's a reason why, but that name Phenomenal One isn't just a moniker he came up with. It was a coin by other people, not just necessarily him, right? He really is phenomenal in the ring there. But we're getting AJ Styles versus LA Knight again next week on SmackDown for the number one contendership in this match. Who do you think?
Oh, okay. You're putting me on the spot first.
I already have who I think is going to win. So
AJ.
I think it's AJ as well.
I think AJ gets his win back. And be honest, I think AJ versus Cody is a much more intriguing matchup than LA Knight versus Cody.
Yeah, I think.
Because listen, let's be real. Cody's not losing the title.
No. And I don't think you can damage LA Knight by yes, he's losing, but he keeps losing the champion, right? He's not winning big matches. Like I said, he won the one at Mania because I said he had to win this match at Mania, right? But then you put him against Cody, he's just going to lose to Cody. AJ can afford the loss.
Yeah, because he's a heel right now.
Well, that and his resume alone speaks for itself. He's a threat no matter what.
Listen, here's the thing. Here's the cool that heels have that baby faces don't is they can make all the excuses in the world and people are just gonna like boo them anyway.
Although to be honest with you, though, I think I could see LA Knight kind of costing AJ Styles a little bit in that match, especially if he loses to Styles on SmackDown, which I think is going to happen. Because I don't think the story between him and AJ is over yet.
I think AJ's gonna win by nefarious means. I don't think it's gonna be a clean finish.
No, I
But
mean, who knows?
we'll be right back here next week to talk about it.
Absolutely, we will. And that, folks, is our SmackDown review for this April 4th, April 13th.
Let's just take a moment to emphasize the fact that Tama motherfucking Tonga is in WWE. Jacob Fatu is on the way. Solo is gonna lead the bloodline until The Rock gets back.
That whole Hawaii family is basically running WWE for the most part. You
And,
know that, right?
and when you realize the repercussions of this and kicking Jimmy out of the bloodline,
Yeah,
knowing that Jimmy and Jay are eventually going to get back together,
yeah,
knowing that Roman will be back for SummerSlam, knowing that War Games is going to be new bloodline versus OG bloodline.
yeah.
Except, except now, like Bloodline was getting crazy reactions, especially like crazy babyface reactions, especially when like Sammy was in the group.
Yeah,
Um, Trust me, like we're not ready for a babyface bloodline.
no,
Um, what that like Triple H said at the Mania press conference, Roman Reigns is going to go off and do and start a story that's going to blow everyone's minds.
yeah.
And this is the beginning. And I am so fucking ready.
I'm excited for this,
I'm
especially
excited.
especially when you see Tama Tonga there. Like that's,
Oh,
I think the
and
fact,
the fact he didn't have to bullshit his way through NXT first.
no, and they also mentioned it's nice that they're starting to mention too. Like, if you, I don't know if you saw Paul Heyman's, it shows how revered Haku really is in wrestling. Um, Paul Heyman in his speech said to his son, he goes, "If anybody messes with you, 2 seats down from you is Haku." And Haku and Paul Heyman go back a long way.
Now,
So, I
I don't
mean,
know if you saw this Friday night or this morning. Did you know Rikishi and Haku were a tag team in 2001? I didn't know this either. I had to look it up
where?
on in WWE.
What was the team called?
They didn't have a name, but it was just Rikishi and Haku. And now Solo and Tama Tonga.
Well, Tama Tonga is Haku's son. I believe his adopted son, but his son.
No, I think Tama is his actual son. I think Hikuleo might be the adopted son. You
No,
can look.
Hikuleo is actually the actual son.
Is he?
Yeah. So, like, Tama Tonga is also 41. Looks good. I mean, all these guys are making a bigger thing.
What Tonga doesn't look a day
Yeah.
older than 30.
Family. Haku, uncle, adopted father.
Oh, okay.
Hikuleo's brother. Tonga Loa, cousin, adopted brother.
Okay. And
So,
Hikuleo is also cousin, adopted brother.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So, but I mean, they're all, for the most part, that
They're all
whole,
family. They're all family.
they're all family in some way anyway. I mean, it really, like, they're all basically like Haku's like the matriarch for the most part, and Daddy said, Daddy goes. So, but that is the SmackDown review, guys. Doug, take us out.
Thank you for listening. We are very close to 1,000 downloads. We are at 980 downloads as of tonight. We appreciate each and every one of you, your support. Go find us on YouTube, Spotify, DA Wrestling Podcast. Hit us up on socials, DA Sports Podcast on Instagram, DA Sports Pod on X, Twitter, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He is April 1982 on Instagram, Andrew DA Sports on TikTok. I am DLines1901 on X. Who are we? For Jesse, 4-time Canadian Premier League champs, and we'll catch you down the road.
Peace, love, and journey, everybody. Be good to each other. Tell your wife you love her. Smack on the ass once in a while. Have a good one. Bye.